Fight. We're here with Coach Larry Wade.
What's going on? What's going on?
We're about, what, a week and a half or so away?
Yeah,
from,
something like that.
Caleb's next fight.
Right.
Coming up, main event on Fox against Feigenbutz, or however you say it.
Yeah,
but,
right.
How has this camp gone and compared it to previous camps you worked with them on?
It's going great. You know, the thing is, they always say that things start with the captain of the ship, and that would be Caleb. And so Caleb comes into this fight with the same intensity and mindset that he had for any other fight. He doesn't look at this guy any lighter. He didn't take him easy. He trained super hard for this fight as if the guy walking in the door with a title of his own. So you can guarantee with that type of mindset that Caleb can go in the ring and put on the show that he knows he can.
So compared to the last two fights he's had, winning the title and defending it the first time, you don't see any difference in the training, his intensity?
But I think it's elevated each time, actually. But that was his way even before he got a belt. Each camp was harder. Each camp he elevated the requirements. And if you look at his body now, he's put on a little bit more muscle mass for this fight opposed to the last 2-3 fights. And that's expected. He's developing over years. So he's stronger now than he ever has been.
Skategi, I think, went down twice. Mike Lee just got blown out of there.
Right.
Are we going to see more of that power in this fight, in your opinion?
I definitely think so. I mean, the kid is strong. He's stronger now than he was then. So he's a stronger fighter. And he's definitely a bigger fighter at this point. He's matured in the sport. I think it really comes down to game plan. You know, whatever game plan we decide to walk in the ring with, whether or not we see this guy get put down, and or if it becomes a boxing match and not get touched. It's really up to him because he has the skill set to do both. He can outbox you and he can put you down.
And just from when you started working with him to now, what were you saying comparing your first time?
Oh man, from a mental standpoint, he was equally as aggressive and intense at that moment as he is now. This didn't just start once he got a belt. He was that same way, fights before he got the belt. From an expectation standpoint, he's raised the bar for everyone, not just for me, but everybody in camp to be better at what we do. He wants to be the best at what he does. And when you take on that mentality of being the best, then there are no levels. You have to push through everything, and he makes sure that the whole team is that same way. So you can guarantee he's going to put on a good show, and even moving forward, you can expect for him to work even harder and do a better job at it.
And do you expect him to stick around at 168 for a while, or do you think 75 is in your future?
You know what? He's the kind of young man that I feel can fight, 68. He's the kind of young man that can fight 75. As a matter of fact, I tried to get him to go down to 60.
Oh, wow.
And that was just me, because I knew he could, and he could still be strong at it. And that doesn't mean that he won't from this point forward, but he's at a place now where I feel like he can elevate up in weight or go down in weight, be equally as strong and box.
In another couple of weeks, got to get your opinion on the big fight, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. We're seeing both guys, obviously going to have to make some adjustments after coming off a draw. Which man do you think will have the correct game plan and be able to pull it off?
Well, as you guys know, I worked with Luis Ortiz for his last fight, so he was in great shape. But the one thing that I learned in that fight, when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder, it only takes one shot, right? If he can land that one shot, it doesn't matter if it's Tyson or whoever's in the ring with him. You have to be on guard at all times. Now, if it comes down to a boxing match and Tyson can stay out of the way of that right hand, it's going to be a long day for Deontay. But if he takes him lightly and thinks he can play with Deontay, and Deontay lands that missile on that right hand, he's going to lay down, as you saw in the first fight.
Except he was actually able to get up, which most guys can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to count on that, but I mean, just saying that he seems to have pretty good chin-wise.
Oh, he definitely has a strong chin, but like a car accident, once you have that car accident the first time, the frame ain't nearly as tough.
Yeah.
He's already run into that hand once, so to be able to come back a second time or a third time off of that, I'm not too sure.
So based on your experience with King Kong and just what you've seen from both of them, and Fury hasn't looked as good in his last couple of fights, are you leaning to Wilder then, it sounds like?
Yes, I'm going to lean to Wilder just because I've been watching him for years. I know that at any point, he may not always box you the best, but you can guarantee he is a animal as far as his physical physique is concerned and his power. He has freakish power. So all he has to do is be able to land that thing one time, and in a heavyweight fight, especially heavyweight fight, that's sometimes all it takes.
We'll wrap it up with this. What can we expect to see out of Caleb Plant on Fox on the 15th?
Okay, so what you should expect out of Caleb is the same thing you've always expected to see out of him. A competitive, aggressive, talented, boxing savvy, sweet hands type of fighter. He's going to show you a little bit of all of it. He's going to show you some agility. He's going to show you some mobility. He's going to show you some power. He's going to show you some finesse. He's going to show you boxing skills. He's going to put it all together. So you'll see the whole show from him. He's that type of guy that in this next year, we're going to be having those conversations about him possibly being a pound-for-pound best boxer in the sport.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing the fight.
I thank you. Same here.